Hey everybody, thanks for dropping by. So today's video is going to be a really short, concise review of the FLSUN V400. Let me say that if you do hear something in the background, that is a V400 zipping around at 400 millimeters a second doing its thing. It may sound loud, however, it is not as loud as the microphone is picking up. If you're looking for a printer that is completely silent, this is not your printer. But again, the noise is not as loud as it may seem in the video. The microphone is just very sensitive. So what is it we do that gives us the ability to give you a review about these printers? We are in the awards business. We print these. This is an award for an athletic event. We do awards for firefighter awards, best firefighter of the year or whatever. We do them for taekwondo events. We do them for cat shows. We do them for everything. So we 3D print everything now. We used to pour everything in resin. We no longer do that. So we manufacture these sculptures literally by the thousands. So we have a lot of experience when it comes to printing out these models. We use primarily the Elegoo 3 Max, 4 Max, and FLSUN V400s. Let me also preface the video with saying that even though we run Elegoo and FLSUN printers, I have never spoken to anyone from Elegoo. I have never spoken to anyone from FLSUN. We are not sponsored by anyone. Everything that I say in my reviews is 100% my user experience, and it's just information that I want to share with you. We use also only Elegoo filament, Elegoo PLA and PLA Plus. I will probably do a review on which one of those filaments I like better at some point in the future. However, this video is all about the FLSUN V400. We do not do unboxings. If you want to see somebody take something out of a box, go find a video for that. We don't do that here. It's just, we just don't do those. So on to the video. These machines have been up and running for about a year and a half. So the review that we give you is our experience over the last year and a half. The print size is advertised at 300 millimeters on the build plate. It's a round build plate, so you don't get a square dimension. It's 300 millimeters, which is about 11.8 inches, by 410 millimeters, which is about 16.1 inches, I think. The actual build size that you can get, I am not sure with the 300 millimeters on the build plate. We've never tried to print anything right to the edge of the build plate. We usually, stay within a 10 or 10 inch area, something like that. So it prints 10 inches, perfectly well. As far as height goes, the 410 advertised is not what you're gonna get. There are a lot of people out there that give the same height as I do for its max, which is kind of funny, but it all works out to be about 389 millimeters high, which is about 15.3 inches. Anything above that, you start losing the top of your print. The machine just shuts off at that height. So if you want your print to print completely, stay right at 389 millimeters or below. If you want to print something larger, we print models on those V400s at about 25 inches, but we print 12.5 inches high on one printer, and then we'll print 12.5 inches on another printer, the second part of the model. That works really well for us because it cuts the print time of the 25-inch model in half. We're printing both 12.5-inch sections at the same time. So it's really fast for us. We just glue them together and it works out perfect. Print speed. Speed is advertised at 400 millimeters. Does it actually print at 400 millimeters? I don't know, but it's really fast, really fast. When you print something really fast, typically you start losing some print quality as well. However, the print quality on the V400, it has been phenomenal. To put that in perspective, these are metal holders. We use these for many different industries. If you're, for instance, if you're doing a cat show, whatever, you're giving away medals for first through fifth place, sixth place, whatever. These metal holders will hold the medals, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth place. And we sell these like crazy. If you place an order with us for custom medals, which we also do, we'll usually include some of these metal holders for free. So it's kind of like a bonus product for us. But this particular metal holder is about 6 inches wide, and this thing will print in just over 2 hours. And not just one, but we print two at the same time on the FLSUN build plate. And when they're sitting like this and they're nested on the build plate, 2 of these will print in just over 2 hours. Incredibly fast. Now, usually when you print something really fast, your print quality suffers. However, I'm not sure if you can see that. A little rough on the bottom right here because we haven't cleaned that up yet. It's still a lot of glue and whatnot, but I use this one here. I'm not sure if you can see that. That's a flat surface, of course, but that is incredibly, incredibly smooth. Incredibly smooth. You will see some print lines there, but that's colorization. That is not actual print texture. That texture right there, I can't even get a fingernail in it. It's so smooth. Now that's a 0.20 layer height as sliced in Cura. So you're printing at a 0.20 layer height at 400 millimeters a second. That type of speed with that print quality is incredible. To put that in perspective, we love our Elegoo 3 Maxes and 4 Maxes, but this is a 400 millimeter per second, 0.20 layer height, right? That print quality at the 0.20 is better than the Elegoo 3 Max or 4 Max at 0.15 at a slower print speed. We have to slow these 3 Maxes and 4 Maxes down to about 70 to 80 millimeters per second to get a really high quality print out of them using a 0.15 layer height. And they still don't come out as good as the taller layer height at a faster speed with the F400. If the F400 had really large build area where we could build several of these models at the same time, at that, these are 17 inches. If we could print 17 inches on a V400, that's all the printers we would have. But we can't print that high on that printer, so we have to use the 3 Max and 4 Max. So, the print speed and print quality on the V400s is insane. Again, if we're going to print something above, like for example, we have a 25-inch model. We will print that 25-inch model in 2 pieces, 12.5 inches on one printer, 12.5 inches on another printer. And since we're printing both 12.5 inches at the same time on different printers, that print time is half the print time that it would be if we were printing the full 25 inches on a V400 if it actually printed that high. So those machines work out well for us. Just so you know, we slice in Cura. Cura has a V400 profile. We use that. We've gotten the question, why don't we use another printer, another slicer, like Orca or whatever? We just don't need it. We're not saying those slicers are bad. Just Cura works for us, so we use it. We're not going to go off on some journey to find some other slicer that works for us when Cura works well. So we just use that. The operating system in the V400 is Clipper. How does that work? We found that sometimes it does crash. It doesn't crash a lot, but it crashes. In the year and a half that we've had them, it's crashed a couple dozen times. But it crashes to the reset screen. So you just hit firmware restart, and it restarts in less than a minute, and it works well. So does it crash so often that that it makes the printer unusable? No. But it does crash every once in a while. So if it happens to you, it's kind of a normal thing. It happens on all of our V400s. We've tried updating new firmware. We've updated the screen software. We've tried all those things, and we get the same result. Every once in a while, it will crash. So it's not just one machine that's acting crazy. They all do the same thing, and crash roughly about the same number of times. Not at the same time, but a couple dozen times on one machine, a couple dozen times on another over the last year and a half. Again, though, it doesn't make it so the machine is not usable, and the reset is very quick. One problem that we do, first let me say this, that Clipper also comes with Moonraker. Moonraker is an application where when you put together the printer, and then you turn it on and then choose your local network, it then comes up with an address for the machine, 192.232.64.0, whatever. But you'll take that, put that into your web browser that's connected to the same network, and then Moonraker will start, and you can load new prints via Moonraker. You don't have to be right at your printer and load everything with a USB. You can just drag and drop a file right into it. So it's incredibly useful. Also, Moonraker has a video application where if you have a USB webcam, you just plug the USB webcam into the little panel that comes on the V400 and you can monitor your print via video. Incredibly useful as well. The one problem that we do have that I have not solved yet with the V400, and really the only issue, is that we keep getting filament breaks. And filament breaks happen at the same, kind of the same way on every V400. So it's not just one machine doing something weird. And what happens is when we pull the nozzle out, when the nozzle is clogged, we notice that there's an amount of filament that's sticking out of the top of the nozzle. So you unscrew the nozzle, pull it out, and there's a little amount of filament about 1 inch long sticking out. And it happens on every V400. And the break is right at where the drive gears are trying to push the filament down into the nozzle. And I think what's happening is the nozzle is cooling and it's trying to push that filament down through the nozzle because the print is trying to print. And the nozzle, for some reason, the cooling got shut off and it breaks the filament. That's what I think is happening. I could be wrong, but the break is at the same point on every V400. So I tend to believe that for some reason, there's a glitch in the software, not in the slicer, not in the G-code, but in the actual clipper software that will shut that nozzle down sometimes and it will break the filament while the filament is trying to be pushed down through the nozzle and it's just not melting, so it breaks. Does it happen often? It's happened maybe 10 times on both printers that we have here in the office. We have some other printers and we have 2 other rooms of printers running full time. So it happens on those as well. So it's, again, not just one printer doing crazy things. It'll break at the same point, not necessarily at the same time on all the printers, but it'll break at the same point. It's the same problem that just reoccurs. So does it happen a lot? Doesn't happen a lot, but it's an easy problem to fix and it winds up being the same problem every time. That really is the only issue that we have with the V400. So in summation, would we buy these printers again? I'm gonna buy more, definitely. They print super fast, super high resolution, really dependable. You don't have to re-level the bed. Once you level the bed, it keeps that level and the print quality is the same every single time. I will say, and this is something I found, there's going to be people out there that disagree, and that's fine. But again, just real experience. If we move from Elegoo PLA to maybe a different brand of PLA, weird things start happening. I don't know why that is, but we will always use Elegoo PLA and PLA Plus. The only time we'll use a different filament is if we happen to run out of filament, and we've got some other filament here that, or samples or whatever, and we'll just use that, to print it up. But as long as you use the same filament, you'll always get really high quality prints. So again, would we buy these again? We are going to buy these again. They are incredibly fast and incredibly great detail on your prints, and we find them well worth the money. So that's our review. Hopefully that helps you if you're trying to decide if you want a V400 or not. So thanks for watching.